It's Monday, March 22. This is the news on PBCJ. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. A breaking point. That's how Prime Minister Andrew Holness has described the island's situation regarding the COVID-19 pandemic. Hospitals are at capacity. Over 500 Jamaicans have lost their lives to the virus, and there are over 18,000 active cases. Mr. Holness used these figures to announce new lockdown measures on Sunday. We get more in this report from Carol Francis.
During his recent contribution to the 2021-22 budget debate, Prime Minister Andrew Holness said he would consider lockdown measures if the island's COVID-19 numbers did not taper off. Well, the numbers didn't.
We are now at a breaking point. We have reached that breaking point. You are seeing the videos being circulated of patients being treated in situations which we would consider to be less than the dignity that we would expect our Jamaicans to be treated with. And that is something that hurts me deeply as Prime Minister. After careful consideration and the need to restrict movement even further, except for essential activities, the following changes will be effected. From Thursday, March 23 to Friday, March 26, the nightly curfew hours will remain at 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. the following morning, ending at 5 a.m. on Saturday, March 27, 2021. So on Saturday, March 27, 2021, the curfew will begin at 12 noon and continue through the rest of Saturday and the entire day on Sunday. Let me say that again, the entire day on Sunday, and end at 5 a.m. on Monday, March 29, 2021.
The Prime Minister also outlined plans for the upcoming Easter holiday weekend.
So, Holy Thursday, curfew starts at 8, but businesses would end at 12 to allow for shopping midday to 8. The curfew will extend throughout all of Good Friday and would end 5 a.m. on Saturday. On Saturday, April 3rd, the curfew will begin at noon and continue through the rest of Saturday, the entire Easter Sunday, and the entire Easter Monday, and it will end at 5 a.m. on Tuesday, April 6, 2021.
The island will be under weekend lockdowns for the next 3 weeks. The 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew hours will remain in effect for weekdays. Mr. Holness said, however, that provisions will be made for vaccination centers to remain open to continue the inoculation process. For the news on PBCJ, I'm Carol Francis.
Here now is the latest COVID-19 figures on the island as released by the Health and Wellness Ministry. 558 additional cases of COVID-19 were confirmed in the last 24 hours, bringing the total number of reported cases since the start of the pandemic to 35,896. Of the 558 new cases, 315 are female and 243 are male. Their ages range from 10 days to 90 years. 3 more persons died from COVID-19 in Jamaica over the weekend. The additional deaths bring the total to 536. Kingston and St. Andrew accounted for 219 of the new infections, followed by the adjoining parish of St. Catherine with 117. St. James accounted for 30 new cases, while Clarendon recorded 9 and St. Thomas 15. The parish of St. Elizabeth registered 26 new infections, and Trelawney had 8, Hanover 19, Westmoreland 20, and St. Mary 14. Manchester 11 and Portland 10. St. Anne reported no new cases. Hospitalizations have again gone up, moving from 385 on Friday to 418 on Sunday. 65 patients are reported as moderately ill, while 37 are critically ill. Persons 75 years and older can make their appointment to be vaccinated this week. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says just over 24,000 vaccines have been administered at more than 60 locations across the island so far. And this week, the older members of the population can start to receive their first jab of the 2-dose AstraZeneca vaccine. He gave an update of the vaccination program at a virtual press brief on Sunday. The Health and Wellness Minister says the ministry has passed 52% of the target numbers for vaccination this month. He says members of the priority list will continue to be vaccinated, but persons 75 years and older will be added as of Monday.
Beginning at 10, appointments can be made by visiting the Ministry of Health's website at www.moh.gov.jm. That's www.moh.gov.jm. Or you can call the 888 One Love number or 888-663-5683.
According to Dr. Tufton, seniors may ask a friend, relative, or caregiver to assist them in booking an appointment.
For those persons who have already submitted their names at their healthcare provider or senior citizens associations, and you are over the age of 75 years, you do not need to apply again. Now, we know that some of the private practitioners and others have been collecting the database of over 75s. We're not asking you to call that number or to register online. Once we get those lists, once they are submitted to us, we will make provisions for your appointment. So we will upload the information and we will make contact with you.
Elderly persons living with underlying illnesses who are registered with the National Health Fund will be contacted.
These persons will be contacted by phone, and if you have not yet made an appointment, you'll be invited to do so once there are available appointment slots. Once you make contact. Members of the public who are 75 years and older must have an appointment before visiting a vaccination site. So please, it is advisable not to turn up, rather to use one of the contact methods and turn up when you're given an appointment at the time that you're given.
He says persons with appointment should travel with an ID, such as an electoral ID or driver's license. A letter from the Justice of the Peace will also be accepted. All students, including those preparing for EdSIC exams, are to revert to only online learning. The announcement was made during a virtual press brief held at the Office of the Prime Minister. Education Minister Favour Williams shared the details. Melvin Pennant reports.
The Education Minister Favour Williams says in light of the unusual circumstances, changes have been made in regards to the administration of the primary exit profile exams.
We are only requiring you to do the ability test. We would have also informed our CAPE and CSEC students of the additional month that you have to sit the exam and the flexibility regarding the deferral and the publication of the broad subject areas for paper 2 ahead of the exam. We would have put out some information as well with regards to City and Guilds. We ask you at this time that you continue your preparation at home.
Minister Williams says students can utilize online resources that are available.
The ministry's e-resource app, which is hosted through BookFusion, has a full array of all the ministry's digital resources and is available online as well as offline. EduFocus, that platform that many of the students are familiar with, will continue to offer online support for our PEP students. One-on-One, another company with which the ministry has a relationship, also will continue to offer online support for secondary level students who will be sitting CSEC and CAPE. Additionally, there should be no child without textbooks. We have distributed physical as well as e-textbooks.
She says adjustments have been made to the Own Your Own Devices program.
In reviewing the Own Your Own Device program, the OYOD, that we launched to help many needy families, we note that 19,908 applications would have been received from parents earning $500,000 or less annually, and we have started to send out the $20,000 e-vouchers, and many persons have been purchasing their devices. So now persons earning up to $1.5 million can apply for the device to receive the $20,000 voucher up to our limit of 36,000 families. We will publish the details of this in the coming week.
According to the Education Minister, her team will be working with the relevant ministries to make additional funds available to beneficiaries of the PATH program for lunch money. Melvin Pennant, PBCJ News.
97% of the world's water is in the sea. The remaining 3% is broken down as follows. 70% and a little over 2% is in ice caps, and less than 1% is in rivers and lakes. In Jamaica, 47% is used for agriculture, 42% for domestic, 11% for industrial use. March 22, 2021 is being observed as World Water Day under the theme Valuing Water. Alan Samuels tells us more.
Jamaica is known for its varied landscapes and abundant wildlife. Early settlers described the island as a land of wood and water. All plants and animals must have water to survive. Water also has enormous value for our households, health, economics, and our natural environment. As a result, it's often said water is life.
The phrase water is life has never been more significant given the challenges presented by the COVID-19 pandemic. The value we place on that statement is reflected in the observance of World Water Day on March 22nd each year. Globally, the phrase new normal is being echoed, representing a change in lifestyle emphasized by reinforcing cleanliness and proper hygiene practices for which water plays a critical role. The expanded role of water in minimizing the spread of the COVID-19 virus has resulted in increased demand by human beings across the world for this vital resource. It is with this knowledge that the theme, Valuing Water, gives the world renewed purpose in ensuring that water, although a renewable resource, is not wasted or depleted beyond sustainability. Jamaica joins many voices across the world in raising awareness about the importance of water, and the government of Jamaica is actively engaged in formulating strategies and participating in initiatives that will protect and expand the availability of this critical commodity.
Jamaica's water quality is among the best in the world. Jamaicans can drink water straight from the tap. Jamaica has several rich natural water sources. However, the island also suffers from irregular rainfall, which contributes to a lack of potable water or drinking water from surface and ground sources. 98% of those living in urban areas and 88% in rural areas have access to drinking water. In urban areas, over 90% have access to piped water. It's estimated that only 45% of those living in rural areas have piped water. The good news is that the government has put a number of policies in place to ensure all Jamaicans have potable water by 2030.
As we strive to ensure that all households have access to potable water by 2030, the effort is underpinned by 5 pillars: safety, along the rules and guidelines of the WHO standards. Convenience. Access must be convenient to our customers or clients or citizens within 500 meters of their houses. We must have sufficient water so that our clients, Jamaicans, can get up to 50 liters of day per water, rather at least 50 liters a day for water. Our sources must be reliable. There should be reliable supply of water 24 hours per day, or there should be a reasonable and predictable schedule. Must be affordable, of course. Persons must not be prevented from having water because they are unable to pay. That's not acceptable.
Among the measures being implemented is the replacing of the island's outdated water infrastructure built in the 1960s. This is a part of the National Water Commission's comprehensive plans for efficient distribution of potable water, while building resiliency and reliability within the network. For the news on PBCJ, I'm Marlon Samuels.
Global oil prices saw a marginal increase on Monday. We get this and other market news in this quick business report.
In Friday's trading session, the JSE Combined Index advanced by 345.97 points to end the day just shy of 350,000 units. The junior stock market advanced by 90 points to close at under 300,000 points. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 50 stocks, of which 25 advanced, 16 declined, and 9 traded firm. Market volume amounted to 8 million units, valued at over $124 billion. Jamaica Producers Group Limited was the volume leader with 2.1 million units, followed by Siboney Group Limited with just over 1 million units, and Wigton Wind Farm Limited ordinary shares with just over 900,000 units. In foreign exchange trading for Friday, March 19, the US dollar was traded at $146.42. The Canadian dollar closed the day's activity at $119.70, and the British pound sterling was traded for an average of $204.79. The euro exited the market at $177.17. There was a slight increase in oil prices on Monday. Brent crude oil futures gained 3 cents to sell for $64.54 a barrel. West Texas Intermediate crude oil futures rose by 10 cents to $61.52 a barrel. And that's the business report.
In news across the region, we begin in the Bahamas, where the first doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine have been administered in the Grand Bahamas. Georgia Bain of OUR News tells us about the first jabs on the island.
The first COVID-19 vaccine shots are in the arms of the nation's second city. The first doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine were administered at the Susan J. Wallace Community Center today, with Minister of State for Finance Kwesi Thompson being the first to receive the vaccine in Grand Bahama today. Head of Grand Bahama's COVID-19 Task Force, Dr. Frank Bartlett, tight-lipped about the number of vaccines that arrived on the island today when pressed by the media.
How many doses we have in Grand Bahama? At this time, I'm not going to give numbers. We have half of the amount that we would anticipate to have received.
Additional medical and logistical support has been deployed to Grand Bahama to ensure a swift and efficient rollout of the vaccine at the Susan J. Wallace Community Center and the Rand Memorial Hospital starting tomorrow, according to a statement released by the Office of the Prime Minister. Bartlett defending the AstraZeneca vaccine.
If you use this AstraZeneca example now, where they would have suspended AstraZeneca, within 1 week in some parts of the country, their rate of infection went up by 24%, where it was trending down when they got the vaccines. Now, just when you look at the European Union, all of the numbers are now going up. And now they're going back up and saying, we want the AstraZeneca vaccine.
Bartlett encouraging Grand Bahamians to take the vaccine so life on the island can return to some form of normalcy.
Everybody in this room has had challenges on very many fronts, from an economic standpoint, psychosocially, you name it, everybody in this room has experienced it to some level. The only way we're going to get at it in a time and not be worrying about rolling into September where flu season again starts, and this may be our tail end or the beginning of another or extension of the pandemic, is to say, let me take that plunge and we believe the science that is out there.
To date, more than 1,500 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine have been administered in the Bahamas.
The physical closure of schools owing to the COVID-19 pandemic is feeding into the issue of child obesity. In a bid to reverse this worrying trend, regional partners have launched a new campaign to raise awareness of the right of the child to nutritious food. The drive will focus on food packaging labeling. We get more in this HTS News Force report.
COVID-19 lockdowns have forced children indoors, where lack of physical activity and bad eating habits could lead to higher incidence of childhood obesity. According to the Healthy Caribbean Coalition, in a 2017 fact sheet, 1 in 3 Caribbean children is overweight or obese. In a bid to tackle the childhood obesity rate in the Caribbean, a new initiative entitled Now More Than Ever, Better Labels, Better Choices, and Better Health has been launched. President of the St. Lucia Diabetes and Hypertension Association, Andrew Felix, touts the initiative for its push towards front-of-package labeling.
So persons can actually identify what's in the food that they're consuming, because the biggest issues that lead to non-communicable disease is obesity. So we're trying to reduce the level of obesity because we're trying to reduce the pressure that's on our healthcare system.
The aim of the drive is to engender better decision-making by both children and parents with food purchases.
When we talk about front-of-labeling packaging, we're looking at the added content of the salt, the sugar, because a lot of people don't know, when you buy something from the store, it says sodium, but sodium is also salt. The fat content. You also need to be able to identify these things to help yourself to reduce your non-communicable disease that you might be going down. Everybody's in lockdown at the moment. Coming out of lockdown, a lot of people are being identified with obesity. They go to the hospital because they're not feeling well. When they get their checks done, now they're type 2 diabetic. They've got extra cholesterol. And it's all because of the food that they eat.
The campaign will run until April 17th and will be rolled out across all social media, digital, and radio platforms in the Caribbean community, CARICOM member states. But what of accountability? Felix makes no excuses for decisions taken by parents and guardians regarding children's health.
If you're looking at children under the age of 16, you have to blame the parents, you have to blame teachers. There has to be some level of accountability. And the reason I'm saying that is because the children don't go and buy the groceries. The parents buy the groceries. Yeah, so when the parents are buying the groceries, they're giving the children, and the children have to eat what's at home and what's available to them. So based on that, we have to look at making healthy foods cheaper and more unhealthy foods more expensive. And right now, it's the other way around.
The focus of the groundbreaking campaign will be on octagonal front-of-package warning labels, after a study carried out in Jamaica found that octagonal labels are most effective. Solange Alfred, HTS News Force.
The threat of human trafficking is a scourge that spans over nations across the region. Over in Guyana, more than 200 persons were rescued from that fate in 2020. Newsroom Guyana's Sheena Henry gives us the details.
With over 200 persons, including women and children, now safe from the threats of human trafficking, Guyanese authorities are looking to ramp up training for traffic ranks of the Guyana Police Force. Coordinator of the Counter-Trafficking in Persons Unit, Tanisha Williams-Corbin, explained that the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security and the Ministerial Task Force have over the years developed and implemented various initiatives to respond to the issue.
So this training is designed to equip the frontline officials, our traffic ranks, with the necessary tools to be able to identify, assist, and refer victims of human trafficking that they may come into contact with while doing their work on the roadways. So they'll be taught what are the indicators to look for. Those indicators were specifically designed to target and inform them. For example, is this a group of children who are traveling without parents? Is this a group of children who are traveling alone? So those are some of the indicators that they are going to be taught what to look for. And it is expected that they'll be able to get through this training pretty well, because we have done quite a number of them between 2019 to present, and we have seen our results. We have seen traffic ranks calling in to give reports of suspected cases, and so we do believe that they're going to fare really well, and we are looking forward to continuing this training throughout the length and breadth of Guyana.
Meanwhile, Force Training Officer Superintendent Shiv Prasad Bacchus explained the program will be continuous as members of the police force are considered frontline workers and first responders. Senior Probation and Social Services Officer Denise Ralph encouraged the officers to be open to participation, reminding that they are there to gain the necessary knowledge on the issue at hand.
You here at this program, you're not only here just to sit, but you need to participate. And you need to ask questions, seek clarity. If you don't understand something from your facilitators, you ask questions so you'll be clear on what trafficking impersonate.
The workshop will include presentations from various officials and representatives from the Guyana Police Force's TIP unit, the chambers of the Director of Public Prosecution, the Ministerial Task Force, and the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission. Reporting for the newsroom, I am Sheena Henry.
In sports, we're out the blocks with athletics. The pocket rocket, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, made a winning return to the track over the weekend. She won the 200 meters at Velocity Fest 8 at the National Stadium on Saturday. The two-time 100 meters Olympic champion stopped the clock in a comfortable 23.19 seconds, with Stephanie Ann McPherson of MVP snatching second in 23.47 and Rhonda White of Sprintec, who was third, in 23.49 seconds. Staying on the track, as Kingston College defended the boys section of the Anthric Digicel Corporate Area Development Meet on Saturday. The North Street School ended with 480.5 points, with Jamaica College a close second with 464.5 points, and Calabar High rounded out the third spot with 378 points. Wilmers were fourth with 167, and Excelsior Boys was fifth with 109.5 points. And that's our package today. You have just watched the news on PBCJ, the People's Station. Do stay safe.